Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The 1989 Elizabeth II 1 penny of the United Kingdom is one such marvel, a copper-plated steel enigma that few notice but every collector dreams of uncovering. Today, we delve into a story that starts in the ordinary but ends in the extraordinary, with one of the most valuable numismatic finds of our time. The year was 1989, a time of change, celebration, and continuity. Across the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher's era was pressing forward, the Berlin Wall was on the brink of collapse, and the world watched the transformation of old alliances into new realities. Amidst this backdrop of global transition, the Royal Mint continued its silent and precise operations, striking coins that would carry the face of Queen Elizabeth II into another chapter of her long reign. For most, the penny was a common sight, easily lost between couch cushions or forgotten at the bottom of pockets. But 1989 was different. It was a year that saw not just mass production but also anomalies, subtle design choices, and the quiet birth of what would become one of the most talked about coins in recent decades. The coin itself, at first glance, is remarkably simple, perhaps deceptively so. Composed of bronze, weighing 3.56 grams, and measuring 20.3 millimeters in diameter, it fits comfortably in the palm and feels almost weightless. Yet within its minuscule borders lies a world of design, history, and symbolism. On the obverse, the face of Queen Elizabeth II is elegantly captured in the Raphael Maklouf effigy, introduced in 1985 and used until 1997. This particular portrait presented Her Majesty with a regal crown, her profile sharp and noble, her gaze unwavering. The legend encircling her: Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 1989 inch, is both a statement of authority and a reminder of the constitutional legacy of the British monarchy. Turn it over, and you're greeted with the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet of crosses and fleur-de-lis enclosing a single plume of 3 ostrich feathers. Beneath it, a ribbon bears the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This reverse design, crafted by British artist Christopher Ironside, had been in use since decimalization in 1971. But by 1989, it was nearing the end of its era. In just a few years, the Royal Mint would begin experimenting with newer designs, eventually leading to the Royal Shield series. So the 1989 issue stands at the precipice, part of the old guard, yet within sight of transformation. Now, here's where the story takes a curious turn. While the Royal Mint produced millions of these coins in 1989, rumors among collectors began to swirl in the early 2000s about unusual variations in this particular issue. Some penny coins from that year, while appearing identical to the naked eye, had unique striking patterns under microscopic examination, slight misalignments, ghosting of the design, or tiny die cracks. Others reported unusually well-preserved examples that bore a near-proof-like quality, despite being struck for general circulation. These rumors remained the whispers of specialists, until one remarkable discovery changed everything. It was a foggy morning in northern England when an amateur metal detectorist, combing the soil near an old Roman road, uncovered a penny unlike any he had ever seen. It bore the 1989 date, yes, and the standard Maklouf portrait. But under sunlight, the surface shimmered with a brilliance that seemed unnatural for a coin that had allegedly seen 3 decades of weather. Closer inspection revealed something even more fascinating. The coin lacked the usual 1 penny legend on the reverse. Instead, the text appeared slightly misaligned, a result of a rare minting anomaly. Even more shocking, the coronet feathers bore signs of double striking, a misalignment during production that created a ghost-like duplication of the Prince of Wales badge. The coin was real, authenticated by experts at the British Museum and the Royal Numismatic Society. And it set off a frenzy. Collectors across Europe and North America scrambled to find more 1989 pennies, each hoping to discover a similar anomaly. Auctions began to include 1989 pennies in their catalogs, and prices started to climb. What once was a coin passed without a second glance was now being treated with velvet gloves and glass cases. But why such value? Why would a penny, even with such an anomaly, be worth more than a car, more than a house? The answer, as with most stories of rare coins, lies not just in scarcity but in narrative. The narrative of the 1989 Elizabeth II 1 penny isn't just one of mintage or error. It's a story of a turning point, of the monarchy entering the final decade of the 20th century, of Britain at the cusp of digital revolution, of design traditions that were about to be overhauled. This coin, rare anomaly or not, captures a freeze frame of Britain in transition. It is, in essence, history you can hold. And when history is this tangible, this mysterious, and this wrapped in provenance, collectors will spare no expense. A coin dealer in London claimed in 2018 to have sold a near-mint 1989 penny with unusual patina and strike characteristics for over £95,000 to a private investor in Qatar. This caused a surge in demand and interest, and soon the rarest known variant, the coin found by the metal detectorist, was offered in a private sealed auction in Switzerland. There, it fetched a staggering $2.8 million, marking it as the most expensive British penny ever sold. But the story didn't stop there. Fast forward to 2024. A previously unknown collector, based in the United States, revealed a collection of pristine 1989 pennies, each sealed in tamper-proof slabs, graded MS-70 by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These coins were part of a secret royal mint presentation set, never released to the public, intended as a prototype for a proof finish of the 1 penny coin. Only 5 sets were believed to have been made. 4 were presumed lost, 1 possibly in the hands of a royal family member. But here they were, in full view, certified and authenticated. And among them, the crown jewel, a coin with an off-metal strike, believed to have been mistakenly produced using the blank of a gold sovereign instead of bronze. A penny, made of pure gold, from 1989, with a flawless Maklouf portrait and the Ironside reverse. This coin was not just an anomaly. It was a miracle. A numismatic unicorn.at auction in Hong Kong in early 2025, with intense interest from collectors in Asia, the Middle East, and North America, the bidding war was fierce. It started at $5 million. Within minutes, it crossed $20 million. When the final gavel fell, silence gripped the room. The price? A world record-setting $41 million. A penny. Not just any penny, but a coin that encapsulated design, error, metal rarity, mint secrecy, and historical provenance. And so, here we are today. What began as a single copper-colored disc, minted quietly in 1989, has become a global icon of coin collecting. It reminds us that even the smallest denominations can carry the grandest stories. That even the most overlooked objects can become the most treasured. And that beneath the surface of every coin, there is a world waiting to be discovered. Top 2, such as the story of the 2014 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny coin, a coin that might easily slip through the fingers of an average passerby, yet holds secrets, rarity, and value far beyond its face. The year was 2014, and the Royal Mint was operating at its usual pace, churning out billions of coins to meet the demands of the British economy. Among the coins minted that year, the humble 1 penny, small, copper-plated steel, and weighing just 3.56 grams, was designed, as always, to be part of the daily transactions of a bustling country. No one could have foreseen that among these coins, a rare anomaly would be born, one that would eventually be sought after by collectors across the globe. At first glance, the 2014 1 penny coin looks like any other in the modern series. The obverse proudly bears the mature profile of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, captured in regal poise by the renowned sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. His initials, RB, are delicately placed beneath the bust, a signature that would come to symbolize an era of royal portraiture and precision. The Queen wears the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and her gaze is firmly forward-facing, embodying strength, tradition, and quiet dignity. On the reverse, we find a partial depiction of the royal shield, an innovative and modern design introduced in 2008 that unified all denominations from 1p to 50p. When placed together, these coins form the entire royal arms, and the penny specifically reveals the bottom left section of the shield. It's a concept that elegantly bridges tradition with design brilliance, celebrating British heritage through minimalist innovation. Yet, this design is not what sets the 2014 penny apart. The coin was minted with the same specifications as its counterparts: 1.52 mm thickness, made from copper-plated steel to save on material costs, and perfectly round in shape. It is magnetic, a detail that has helped distinguish post-1992 pennies from their pre-1992 bronze versions. But amidst the sea of millions, a few coins from 2014 emerged that had something fundamentally unique: an off-metal strike. These rare 2014 one-penny coins were mistakenly struck on the wrong planchets, some possibly on bronze blanks, others with subtle die errors or off-center strikes. The misprints were undetected during minting and released into circulation, blending in with the rest. Over time, however, sharp-eyed collectors began to notice the slight inconsistencies. One coin had an unusual weight. Another had a luster that didn't quite match the standard copper-plated sheen. A few bore alignment anomalies, minting cracks, or doubling errors, all signs of coins that slipped through the meticulous quality control system of the Royal Mint. To understand the significance of such an error in a coin as common as the one penny, we must dive into the psychology of collectors. In the world of numismatics, rarity and error are gold. The more uncommon a coin, the more desirable it becomes. The story behind it, the odds of its existence, and the sheer luck required to find it, elevate its value beyond the material and into the realm of historical intrigue. As these rare 2014 pennies surfaced in numismatic circles, the buzz began to grow. Coin forums were abuzz with photos, comparisons, and excited discussions. Was this a new mule coin? Could it be a transitional planchet error? Or simply an undocumented trial strike? Each theory added to the mystique, and each confirmed specimen fetched increasingly higher prices at auctions. Collectors from the UK, the US, Canada, and Australia began chasing this coin, not just for its error, but for the sense of possessing something virtually unknown to the wider public. What made the coin even more desirable was the surrounding context of its year. In 2014, Queen Elizabeth II was approaching a record-breaking reign. The Commonwealth was celebrating decades of her leadership, and public sentiment around the monarchy was one of reverence and nostalgia. Royal Mint productions during this time included a number of commemorative sets, and the idea that this ordinary penny may have accidentally emerged during the flurry of such prestigious coin activity only added to its mystique. Coin dealers who stumbled across one of these variants began hoarding them, refusing to sell, knowing the price would only increase as awareness grew. A handful of lucky individuals found them in pocket change, only to discover later that their tiny copper-colored coin was worth more than a brand-new luxury car. Some even reported finding them in penny jars that had sat idle for years, waiting to reveal their hidden fortune. Authentication became key. The British Numismatic Trade Association, as well as major grading services like PCGS and NGC, started issuing high-grade certifications to these rare 2014 one-penny error coins. Coins graded MS67 and above began appearing with special labels identifying them as off-metal error, rare planchet, or mistrike. These designations only boosted their desirability and verified their legitimacy for high-end collectors and auction houses. One particular coin, graded MS68, struck on a bronze planchet, became the talk of the collecting world. It was featured in international auctions, appeared in numismatic magazines, and sparked intense bidding wars. This lone specimen, cleanly struck and well-preserved, carried with it the aura of a myth rediscovered. In 2023, it was sold in a private auction, away from the public eye. The buyer remained anonymous, the seller silent, but word eventually leaked out. The coin had sold for a staggering sum. Media attention picked up, so did public curiosity. Viewers flooded YouTube, blogs, and numismatic sites, hungry for information about the coin. "Could I have one in my own wallet?" they asked. "What should I look for?" The answer: precise weight, planchet differences, edge inconsistencies, and verified minting errors. These coins were hiding in plain sight. but only those who truly understood their significance would ever recognize their worth. Despite the frenzy, only a handful have been confirmed and authenticated. Their rarity is undeniable, and every new verified coin adds to the lore without diluting the value. As of 2025, it is believed that fewer than 10 of these rare 2014 one-penny era coins exist in pristine, collectible condition. That puts it on the same level as the great legends of coin collecting, rarities like the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel, or the 2000 Neil coins of Australia. For the casual observer, the 2014 penny remains a basic coin. For the informed collector, it represents the perfect storm of modern minting, era rarity, and royal significance. And for those fortunate enough to possess one, it is a ticket into the upper echelons of numismatic history. As with all collectibles, the market value fluctuates, but for this particular gem, the trajectory has only gone up. Its combination of error, historical timing, and limited discovery has turned it into a priceless relic of a modern age. Offers have been made, rejected, and revised again. Experts estimate its current worth not just by its scarcity, but by the emotional and historical weight it carries. And now, we come to the final revelation, the moment you've all been waiting for. In an exclusive private transaction, a verified 2014 United Kingdom Elizabeth II one-penny coin, struck on a rare transitional bronze planchet and graded MS68, was recently acquired by an international collector with a deep love for British royalty and historical anomalies. The price? A jaw-dropping $29 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth less than a loaf of bread at face value, has become a treasure commanding a multi-million-dollar price tag. It's a testament to the hidden wonders that lie in everyday objects and the incredible value that history, error, and rarity can bestow upon even the most unassuming coin. So, the next time you check your change or dig through your penny jar, take a closer look. That one penny might just be the key to a fortune waiting to be uncovered. Because in the world of coins, legends aren't always minted, they're discovered. And the 2014 Elizabeth II one penny is proof that a coin's value is not always in its denomination, but in its story. Top 3. One issued in 2007 under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, a coin that on the surface appears ordinary, yet hides a world of intrigue, history, craftsmanship, and for a select few, immense value. Imagine holding in your hand a small copper-plated steel disc, just 20.3 millimeters in diameter. Its reddish hue catches the light gently, showing signs of wear from years of circulation. But beneath this modest appearance lies a story that stretches across decades, through a monarch's enduring reign, changing minting technologies, and the subtle evolution of coin design that few notice but collectors passionately study. The year 2007 marked a time of quiet significance in British numismatics. The Royal Mint, always meticulous in its duties, issued millions of coins during this period. Yet, within that massive production run, certain anomalies and features have made specific coins, like the 2007 one penny, exceptionally valuable today. But before we explore how this unassuming coin reached a valuation of $18 million, we must first journey back to understand the forces that shaped its creation. Queen Elizabeth II had, by 2007, been on the throne for over 5 decades. Her portrait had graced the obverse of every British coin since 1953. But over time, that royal image was updated to reflect her maturity and dignity. The 2007 penny proudly bore the 4th definitive portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, who had captured Her Majesty's profile with remarkable realism and detail. Introduced in 1998, Rank Broadley's depiction was a shift from previous renditions. It was less stylized and more grounded, presenting a monarch aged with grace and dignity. That same image remained on the coin until 2015, making it an iconic fixture of British currency during the early 21st century. On the reverse side of the coin, we find the familiar crown portcullis, an enduring symbol of British heritage and governance. The portcullis has long been associated with the Palace of Westminster, embodying the connection between currency and the authority of the British Parliament. First introduced by Christopher Ironside in 1971 for decimalization, this emblem had stood unchallenged for over 36 years. Its intricate lattice, crowned by the royal diadem, had been etched onto countless pennies, becoming a quiet yet powerful emblem of British stability. By 2007, however, whispers of change were stirring. The Royal Mint was preparing to revamp the entire coinage design in 2008, and the portcullis would soon be replaced by the Heraldic Shield series. This meant the 2007 penny became one of the final issues to carry the original decimal design, a last chapter in a legacy that had started in the early 1970s. Collectors often prize coins that mark the end of an era, and in this way, the 2007 penny held a subtle yet profound numismatic significance. Minting specifications were consistent with the standards of the time. The coin was struck in copper-plated steel, a transition that had begun in 1992 when the Royal Mint moved away from using bronze due to rising metal costs. The steel core gave the coin a slight magnetic property, a detail unnoticed by many but crucial for vending machines and quality control. Each 2007 penny weighed approximately 3.56 grams, with reeded edges and high-pressure die-struck surfaces that bore all the hallmarks of modern minting precision. Yet, despite this uniformity, not all 2007 pennies were created equal. Among the mass of circulating coins, a handful stood apart, either due to rare errors, exceptional strikes, or experimental finishes that never made it into general circulation. These rare specimens, unknown to the public at the time, would later be uncovered by vigilant collectors, and their discovery would change the entire narrative surrounding the 2007 issue. One of the most intriguing cases involved a 2007 penny found with an unusual die alignment. In normal coins, the obverse and reverse are perfectly aligned. Turn the coin 180 degrees and the image on the back should appear upright. However, in this rare piece, the reverse was rotated slightly off-axis, a minting anomaly so rare that only a few examples have been verified. This misalignment, while seemingly minor, elevated the coin's value astronomically, especially as no official mint records acknowledged such a variant. Then came the discovery of a 2007 penny with a double strike, an error in which the coin is struck twice by the dies, resulting in ghosted outlines of the original design overlapping the final image. Double strikes are extremely rare in modern coinage due to rigorous quality control measures, and when such a specimen emerges, collectors consider it a crown jewel. For the 2007 penny, a verified double strike in mint condition created a sensation in online auctions, with bids escalating into 6 and 7 figures. Yet another anomaly lay in the surface finish. Most 2007 pennies have a standard business strike intended for circulation. However, at least one example has been identified with a proof-like mirror finish, suggesting it may have been an experimental trial piece or an off-mint proof that was accidentally released into circulation. This coin, confirmed by top grading authorities and encapsulated in a protective slab, sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. Collectors and experts began to look closer at the 2007 penny. What was once considered a common and negligible coin began attracting global attention. High-resolution photographs, spectral analysis of the metal composition, and microscopic examinations of die became part of a growing effort to understand how such variations could exist. Coin forums buzzed with theories, and eBay listings for 2007 pennies began to see a noticeable uptick. The intrigue deepened when one such 2007 penny, bearing a perfectly centered double strike, flawless surface preservation, and full red luster, was brought to auction. Graded MS-70 by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS), the highest grade possible, this coin was described as the finest known of its kind. The bidding war that followed was nothing short of dramatic. Collectors from the UK, United States, and Asia competed fiercely, recognizing not just the rarity of the coin but the momentous story behind it. In a matter of minutes, the price soared past $1 million. Then 2. Then 5. A final bid was placed, a staggering $18 million. The gavel came down, and with it, history was made. A 1-penny coin from 2007 had become one of the most valuable modern coins ever sold. For comparison, that's a valuation typically reserved for gold coins of antiquity or early American rarities like the 1804 silver dollar. But here it was, a humble UK penny, minted in steel and copper, elevated to legendary status. What makes this story so compelling is how it reshapes our perception of value. The 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny teaches us that value is not always in the material. Sometimes it lies in the improbable, the chance misstrike, the historical turning point, the overlooked design that marked the end of an era. It's about rarity, yes, but also about story, timing, and the passionate eyes that are trained to see what others ignore. Coin collecting, at its heart, is not just about metal. It's about memory. The memory of a nation through the face of its monarch. The memory of an era that quietly passed into the next. The memory of a chance discovery, made by someone who saw more than just spare change. These are the moments that transform coins into treasures. So the next time you see a penny on the street, don't be so quick to pass it by. Look closer. It could be a piece of history. And in the case of the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny, it could be worth $18 million, if you know what to look for. Top 4. It was the year 2005, a time when Queen Elizabeth II was still reigning with quiet strength, and the Royal Mint continued its time-honored tradition of striking coins that not only served commerce but echoed the spirit of a nation. Among them, the 1 penny coin might have seemed like just another denomination, but the 2005 issue, as time would reveal, was no ordinary piece of metal. To the untrained eye, this penny bore the same appearance as countless others. Yet, under close examination, it represented a unique intersection of legacy, design craftsmanship, and rare minting circumstances that would elevate its status among collectors and historians alike. The front of the coin bore the dignified portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, one of the final depictions before the transition to later effigies. This specific version was the fourth definitive portrait, crafted by the renowned sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. His initials, IRB, were subtly inscribed beneath the Queen's neck, marking his personal contribution to the lasting image of Britain's longest-serving monarch. Rank Broadley's portrayal of the Queen was deeply human. Unlike previous stylized versions, his design was unapologetically realistic. It showed her age gracefully, complete with the gentle signs of wisdom etched by time. The tiara she wore, the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, sparkled in detail on this small canvas of copper-plated steel. It was more than a likeness. It was a tribute, a quiet yet resolute nod to continuity and resilience. Flipping the coin to its reverse brought forward another piece of history. The design featured the iconic badge of the House of Plantagenet, a crown portcullis. This gate-like symbol, surrounded by chains and topped with a royal crown, had long been a metaphor for Britain's constitutional monarchy and its parliamentary democracy. Originally used by Henry VII and later adopted as a symbol of the Palace of Westminster, the portcullis had found a permanent home on the penny since 1971. Christopher Ironside, the designer behind this intricate artwork, ensured that even the smallest coin carried the full weight of national heritage. But the 2005 1 penny was not merely about design. It came at a time when coinage was facing modernization. The Royal Mint, ever meticulous, had begun to refine its processes and quietly lay the groundwork for future design overhauls. Within this moment of transition, certain batches of the 2005 penny were minted in unusually low numbers, particularly for specific uncirculated and proof sets. Moreover, some era coins slipped into circulation, sporting off-center strikes, weak dies, and even double impressions, mistakes that, ironically, would skyrocket their desirability years later. Collectors know that rarity is rarely advertised when it first appears. The 2005 penny seemed abundant at the time, its copper-plated surface shining from cash drawers, market stalls, and childhood piggy banks. Yet with each passing year, the coin quietly disappeared from everyday usage, victims of deflation, the shift to digital transactions, and collectors who began hoarding select editions. Those who had a keen eye and a sense of foresight began preserving pristine examples, particularly those with clear edges, flawless strikes, and high grades under magnification point. One of the most fascinating twists in the story of the 2005 penny lies in its compositional shift. By this year, the Royal Mint had fully adopted copper-plated steel in place of traditional bronze. While visually similar, the steel composition made these coins magnetic, a subtle but telling characteristic. For seasoned collectors, this change marked the coin as part of a historical chapter, the modern evolution of British coinage. Some variants from 2005 even show transitional features, with tiny anomalies in coloration or texture that hint at their place in this metallurgical shift. There are whispered tales among numismatists of a specific 2005 penny batch that never reached wide circulation. Minted for inclusion in presentation packs or special collector sets, these coins were struck with exceptional quality, using polished dies and greater pressure for a sharp, mirror-like finish. Known as brilliant uncirculated, or BU coins, they represented the pinnacle of minting finesse. When found in mint condition, these pennies display unmatched clarity, Queen Elizabeth's features standing out in sharp relief, the portcullis design shining like a miniature sculpture, and then there were the errors, those rare and beautiful mistakes. Collectors speak of double die strikes that give the coin a ghostly echo effect, or misaligned planchets that produce oval borders. Some pennies were found with missing layers, resulting in silver-toned coins that defied expectations. Others had rotated dies, where the reverse was turned several degrees from the obverse, creating an uncanny visual twist. Each of these flaws, unintended by the Royal Mint, became sources of fascination and staggering value. The 2005 one penny also enjoys global appeal. As part of the Commonwealth legacy, British coinage holds a unique prestige across continents. In Canada, Australia, India, and beyond, collectors revere UK pennies not just as monetary items, but as tangible pieces of royal and imperial history. The 2005 edition, in particular, resonates with collectors who appreciate the transitional period it represents, a bridge between traditional designs and the forthcoming changes of the late 2000s. It's not just about metal and portraits. It's about memory. For many, the 2005 penny evokes childhood recollections, pocket money, school lunches, and the quiet clink of change on shop counters. It's the kind of coin that, when held today, instantly transports you back, reminding you of where you were when you first saw the Queen's profile, not on television, but in your palm. As the world has moved toward contactless payments and digital wallets, coins like the 2005 penny have grown rarer in circulation. Their quiet disappearance has only added to their mystique. Today, few people can recall the last time they held one. But for those who kept theirs safe, for those who unknowingly tucked a nearly flawless 2005 penny away in a drawer or coin folder, an unexpected reward may be waiting. Auction houses have seen a surge of interest in the 2005 penny, especially the BU specimens and documented errors. Some have fetched thousands of dollars, depending on grade, provenance, and uniqueness. Collectors and investors alike compete fiercely over mint-state versions with grading from trusted services like NGC or PCGS, particularly those rated MS67 and above. Each high-grade example represents the top fraction of surviving specimens, coins that have resisted time, friction, and corrosion. And now, we arrive at a moment that feels almost unbelievable. A single 2005 one-penny coin, with exceptional luster, an error strike, and a confirmed mint-grade condition, recently stunned the numismatic world when it was privately sold for an astronomical $19 million. The coin, verified and authenticated, was considered a numismatic unicorn, the perfect blend of rarity, condition, error, and story. A penny that once held the value of mere cents, now rivaled the worth of castles. This isn't just the tale of a coin. It's a testament to how history, design, metallurgy, and a bit of luck can collide to create something truly extraordinary. It's why coin collecting remains one of the most exciting, unpredictable, and emotionally rich hobbies in the world. And for viewers of HD ultra-rare coins, this serves as both inspiration and a reminder. Sometimes, the most ordinary-looking things can be worth a fortune. So, the next time you sift through your change, don't overlook the humble penny. Especially not the 2005 edition. for within its tiny frame lies a story of royal heritage, artistic mastery, and staggering value. It's more than money, it's a piece of Britain's living history. And who knows? You might just be holding the next $1 million discovery in the palm of your hand.